I have been spending a little time going through our success principles. So I started this actually at the first of last year. So the first of last year, I started on the first one. I taught purpose at the beginning of last year. And then what I decided is it would be a lot more fun because we're doing so many events, and at every event I got to talk about something different. What I decided was, let me just pick a principle. And I'm just going to go through them in order, and I'm going to go through them one by one. So when we started in the first one, I did the plan, which was principle number 2. Last time we were in Dallas, I did principle 3, which was love. And then now I'm going to talk about change. Now, let's just admit, I know some of you are like, oh, crap. Oh, I'll take a deep breath in and let the moans out. Yeah, get them out. Because we're going to spend an entire hour talking about change. Now, I know that's not everybody's favorite, but I promise you, I'm going to make this fun. I'm going to make this easy because I want you to master it. So I started with principle 1, which is purpose. Purpose is the why behind everything. Principle number 2 is plan. The plan is the what. What are we going to do to get there? Principle number 3 is love. And love is the fuel. It is the fuel that makes number 1 and number 2 worth it. Fuel is the thing that makes number 1 and number 2 go. It's what gets us and propels us there. Now we move this week into number 4, which is change. And change is the action that gives principles 1 through 3 movement. So change is the action. Change is the step. It's really the first moment that where we actually are going to implement and do something. So I want to teach change from a different perspective today. That's kind of the whole point of this. I want you to hear it in a different way because I truly feel like what action is, if we look at action from just a very basic standpoint, action is basically a transformation. It's moving. It's stepping. It's not something major. It's just a movement. So where does the action come from? If I go to what Paul says in Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. In Romans 12:22, basically what this means is Paul urges us to be transformed from the inside out. Specifically, that we must be changed in how we think, to have our minds renewed so that we can begin to understand God's will for our lives. Now, what that means to me is if I can just kind of be honest of even how I am as a believer, and maybe how many of you are, I feel like that first part's kind of easier. I feel like it's very easy to be like, yeah, I'm not going to conform to the world. It's very easy to fight against the world. It's very easy to see the world as the wrong thing. But I've noticed as I get older, that second part gets harder. Because when I'm young, transforming is just a day-to-day thing. That's what high school is. You're just constantly changing to fit whatever mold is, constantly. But then you start getting older, and you start realizing that, oh no, I have to transform. Maybe I don't want to transform. Because maybe we're all mad at the real transformation that keeps happening, and that's just us, or let's say myself, getting bigger and bigger. My body transforms, but my mind doesn't. And so what ends up happening is I start doing everything from a standpoint of more comfort as I get older, rather than seeing where I could be renewed, where I could change, where I could be altered, how things could truly be different. Because I've noticed this I've mentioned this at the Elite Week. One thing I've noticed that's really strange growing older, I turned 41 this week. Tuesday is my birthday. Yeah, so I turned 41, and the thing that is weird, I'm wondering, at what age do I become miserable? I mean, you may think that sounds weird, but I've noticed in my own neighborhood that there's a certain crew that's older than me that's unhappy with everything in the neighborhood. They're unhappy with how we drive, how fast we go. They're unhappy with everyone's yards. They're unhappy with the mulch that's in my yard. They're unhappy with the color of homes. They're unhappy with the unevenness of sidewalks. And part of me wants to go to them and be like, you know what? 40-year-old you would be so disappointed right now. Because at some point, they gave in to a point where they said, nope, I don't care about anything else. I'm just miserable here. I'm just staying here. And the problem with just admitting and just going into a staying here mindset means that you don't realize a lot of the things that you're missing. We think that by staying in comfort, it's only comfortable. I don't know if you know this or not, because if you've ever seen this, if you've ever bought a couch before that was really comfortable, or a lazy boy, and you stay on that couch, and it's your favorite couch, the one thing, if you're not careful, you realize, if you stay on that couch for 20 years, it will become uncomfortable. But you don't want to admit it until you go try a real new one. You're like, whoa, what is this? I didn't know there was a lumbar pillow. Because sometimes we're too afraid to admit that we need the change, that we need the transformation. So I want to today show you transformation from a different point. I want to help you redefine change. Because I know that when I say, like, let's just start. If I do a show of hands, how many of you don't like to change, and you'll admit it? Oh yeah, a lot of you. Here's the main reason you don't like to change. It's a perspective problem. See, when I say you need to change, most of us don't think change like just change a little bit. We mean and we think change a lot. So if I say you need to change your mindset, you don't think you just need to change one thing. You start thinking, oh, I shouldn't be a Republican, I should be a Democrat. You think it has to be a complete reverse, a complete switchover. We think change means going from a sinner to saved. We think change means I can't be on this side anymore, I have to be on that side. But see, I know that that's not how it works. See, I know that if an airplane takes off in London, and it takes off for Seattle, Washington, when it's on its way, if when it first takes off moves only 1 degree left, instead of Washington, it'll land in LA. 1 degree. Not a complete reverse, not a different change, 1 degree. I think that might have been 2, I don't know. It's barely anything at all. See, change is only big if we make it big. Change is only a giant, horrible, hard, scary thing if we choose to believe that's what it is. But a lot of times, what it really is very simple. So even for you, docs, when we come to you and we say, hey, we need to change this, you don't see it as, oh, I'm just changing a procedure. It's very easy for you to see as, they're just flipping the practice upside down. I'm not even going to recognize it anymore. It's like, no, I gave you a paragraph. Just read the paragraph. Oh, it's going to change everything. What am I going to do? I remember when we released our last report of findings, which took literally 6 pages away. Very nice. I remember we took it to someone, we told them, I said, look, we want you to change to this. And they looked at it, and they said back on the coaching call, they said, this is going to take me 3 months to learn. What? You know why it would take 3 months? Because you don't want to change. It's not because it's hard. It's not because it's tough. It's not because you can't. It's just a decision that you've decided to see change as explosive change rather than just, oh, I moved a little bit. Because even right now, as I'm standing on the stage, if I just step like that, I'm in a different spot with a little different perspective. We know this when you take pictures. Anytime you go to take pictures, how many of you know that if you just move a little bit over, it changes the whole picture? How many of you know if you hold the camera down here, we all look chubby, but if we hold it up here, we delete the chin, you know? We make it better. It's a little bit of change. But the problem is we don't see it as a little bit. We spend too much time just trying to see change as let's just redo and undo everything. Let me give you another easy example of change. Let's imagine for a second that your doctor decided to take the entire team to Disney World. Now, docs, I'm not saying that should happen. This is not a pressure moment. This is not a pressure moment, otherwise, even though I know they deserve it, and I think it'd be a good thing. But see, this is something, let's say we all go to Disney World together, and we walk through we walk through Main Street, and we're walking our way, and when you're talking to your doctor, and your doctor says to you, all right, team, you know what I've decided? I've decided that I think we should start at It's a Small World. I think it'd be a good place to start. It's a very famous one. That'd be really good. So you decide to start at It's a Small World. Now, in starting at It's a Small World, what really happens here is that you ride the ride. You ride the ride, you go through the whole thing, you get on the boat, you go, it's a small world after all. You go through the whole thing, get stuck at the end. You all get off, and all of you are like, all right, great, we did that, let's go. And the doctor then looks at you and says, you know what? We're going to do it again. I like this one. This is a winner. This one makes sense to me. This is easy. Let's get on the boat. So you get on the boat, and you ride around again. And you get off, and your doctor says, yep, I knew it. It's a good one. Staff, get back in line. We're going to do it again. Now, let's just be straight, staff. How many of you are quitting at this point? I mean, let's be honest. There's going to be a point in time of the day where someone's like, screw this place. I will pay to go back. I am not riding that ride again. But that's what that is. I'm not saying it's a major change. I'm not saying we get in the park and go home. I'm saying pick another ride. Any of them. There's tons of them. But what if you just do the same one over and over, even though it's a good one, even though it's a nice one, even though it's a popular one, even though it's a memorable one? I'm betting at some point the reason people are leaving is because you're still riding It's a Small World. I'm thinking the reason people don't want to work for you anymore is because you're still riding a small world. See, change isn't something major. Change is simply choosing a new experience. That's what I want you to see it as. Change is choosing one more, one different, one little experience. So if we pull out our map and we look at the Magic Kingdom, look at all those experiences. Look at all of them. Some are scarier than others. But literally, Peter Pan's across the street. It's about 30 feet away. Let's just go there. Just a different experience. That's all it is. I'm not asking you to just be like, nope, I'm not coming here ever again. I'm saying, just change to a different ride. See, change is just, we're going to go try something else. We're going to go do something else. But see, when you're resistant to change, you write off things for the wrong reasons. There are a lot of you that could have really amazing, awesome experiences that you've missed out on just because you were scared of just getting in the next line. I know this from a very unique standpoint. My mom is not a great ride person. She loves them when she gets on them, but she doesn't like enclosed spaces. She's very claustrophobic. She gets nervous with crowds. She does not like darkness at all. So every time, because we've been to Disney so many times, she can't really remember what they are. And so we'll have kind of discussion on the way to each ride of, what's this going to be? Is this one I can do? So it just so happened, the last time we were at Disney World, I said, hey, Mom, we're going to go on Rise of the Resistance, which is the new Star Wars ride. And so we're in line for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, and she goes through this thing. She says, now there's no like enclosed space. No, we're good. She's like, it's not dark. I was like, no, it's not dark. She's like, there's no like roller coasters or drops or. It's like, no, we're fine. We're fine. I was like, look, Nolan's coming. My 3-year-old. He's coming. You can come. Like, if he can get on it, this should be easy. So we get on, we go through the deal. You get on the ride. How many of you have done Rise of Resistance? Okay, for those of you that have not, there's some things that happen on that ride. So there's one point where you're riding through this kind of armory section, and you don't know it, but you backwards-wise get onto an elevator thing that just shoots you up in the air, in the dark. And so we're kind of cruising through this thing. We back in, it shoots up, and Mom's sitting in front of me. And she leans back and she goes, Ryan, I'm going to kill you. And I was like, just wait. And as you get to the end of the ride, because we've gone up, we have to go down. And so there's a scene at the end when you're flying through space and you get ejected and you don't know it. The whole place goes pitch black and it just drops you a whole level. And she just starts yelling. And we get off the ride, and my mom's just nervous and just shaking, furious with me. And she said, Ryan, what was that? I said, wasn't it awesome? Wasn't that the coolest ride you've ever been on? She was like, it was neat, but you said there wasn't any of those things. I said, Mom, it's a brand new ride. I'd never been on it before. I had no idea. I just knew it was the new one, and I knew you should go. Because if the 3-year-old, and she was mad at me the rest of the day, I will say. She was not thrilled with it, really didn't do another ride after that. But she also said later that night when we were at dinner, she said, you know what, that was an incredible ride. I have never seen anything like that before. And see, to me, that's what it's about. See, I'm not saying that every change is going to be comfortable. I'm not saying that every change is going to be welcomed. And I'm certainly not going to say you're going to enjoy every change. But what if you just saw it as a new experience? Not every experience works. Not every experience is a keeper. Not every experience is one we hold on to and keep doing. But I can tell you this, it's better than just sitting off and not getting on the ride. And it's certainly better than just going right in Small World again. I want you to choose new experiences. Now, I know even as I say this, some of you are like, no, but Ryan, it's nice and all, but I don't like to change. I'm good where I'm at. I'm good. That's really not true. You change all the time. Does anyone here still have a beeper? Anybody? Some of you are like, in a drawer. Yeah, you have one. You still don't throw things away. Anyone here still go to Blockbuster? How many wish you could? Oh, man, I wish I could. Blockbuster, what an awesome place that was. So you're also telling me that during the pandemic, none of you could order food anymore. Because did we have menus? Or did we have QR codes? So when you got we just can't eat. No. Even the stubbornness of you were like, you still did it. Even you said, well, Ryan, all those things don't matter. I still am not into change. Yes, you are into change. Here's a simple question. Are you wearing the same thing you wore yesterday? No. So that means you did what? You changed. Moms, we got any moms in here? How many of you leave a diaper on for a week? Oh. No. How many of you leave a diaper on for 12 hours? No. Why? You need to do what? You need to change that thing. Otherwise, it's going to be trouble. We don't want blowouts. We don't want any of the problems. We got to change. See, there's a lot of things we do constantly that we change, and yet we don't really see them as change. We just see that as, well, that's just part of the routine. But see, I'm saying that every one of these little things, anything that I ask you to do, anything the system asks you to do, that's change. Just a little change. See, what if you saw each little change in the system as just changing your clothes? What if you saw it as just changing a diaper? Because let's be honest, some of you feel some of the procedures are diapers. This is a crappy one. Yeah, it is. Yeah, yes, it is. Oh, well. Everyone has to change. Everyone continues to change. And the main reason is it's because your purpose requires it. Nowhere does it ever say in the Bible that in order to get where you want to go, you just have to stay the same. Moses wasn't given paradise. They had to go to it. Anything that's ever happened, anyone that's ever done anything, has had to change. Getting unstuck requires change. Reaching your goals requires change. Seeing more patients requires change. See, we have a thing we say here a lot here about the definition of insanity. The definition of insanity is also the definition of avoiding change. It's the act of doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. There are so many times we are doing the same thing over and over and complaining we're not getting new patients, we're not getting new patients, we're not getting new patients. But then we say, well, hey, do this. It's, wait a minute. We're not comfortable with that. Wait a minute, that's not what we do. No. Change. You have to change. Avoiding hiring a PR person because you're not getting enough new patients means you have to change. Patients dropping out of care and you don't want to show the videos, you got to change. Not flip upside down. Just try a new experience. We have to change. We have to do things a little bit differently. We have to make things work. Come on. When things aren't working, we really have two choices. You either give up or you change. Now, I know some of you think, no, there's a third. I just stay the same. But that's not a thing. Staying the same means you just give up. There's this great scene. There was an old movie in the 90s, 2000s called Deep Impact. Anybody remember Deep Impact? It was the story of this, I don't know, the whole world's going to end like every movie in the thousands, because we had to just kill this earth for something. And so this whole movie, they've kind of built this spaceship to take people off planet. And it even ends with them drawing straws to see who gets to go on. Most ludicrous thing ever. And then at the end, it gets the deal. There's this scene of this woman and her dad or something, and they're on the beach, and you can see it hitting in the ocean, and they're just like, we're just glad we're here together. You're going to die. Now, she knew everyone on the plane. She knew everyone on the shuttle. I can only tell you this right now, people. If that's me, I'm going to fight my way onto that sucker. I'm going to knock a person over. I'm taking people out. If I'm not just going to go get on the beach and be like, well, bring on the death. No. But that's how we are when we think we're just staying the same. We're just going to plant ourselves here and wait for the giant boulder to hit us. I'm only going to do this. I'm only comfortable with this. No, you're going to get left behind. There were a whole lot of people who got left behind when the Model T came out. He goes, no, I'm good with this horse. There's a whole lot of people who were good with the train when the plane came out. We either give up or we change. Because at the end of the day, quitting is the protest of change. Because 9 times out of 10, when we as coaches tell you to do something, your answer, if you don't want to do it, isn't, I'm not just going to do that. It's a screw it all. It's I quit. I'm out. I'm done. Well, it's just it's just a new experience. It's just one little thing. So what I want you to see is have new experiences for all. Because it's going to matter. No matter what age you're at, you need new experiences. If you're over 50, how many over 50 people we got? Yep. Some good people raising their hands there. Over 50, you need to change and have new experiences. You need to accept the younger generation and stop trying to change them. You need to be open to Generation Z, as unexplainable as they may seem to be. You may not get it. You may not, I don't even know who these people are. I don't care. You need to change because they're not going anywhere. They're going to keep them, and you got to hire them. Now, the under 50 crowd, who here's under 50? Oh, yeah, okay, that's a good chunk. You got to be nice to these over 50 people. They are your Medicare patients. Oh, wait. No, I mean, they're just the really great people that are just a little bit not as young as you. You've got to be accepting of them. See, this is the problem with our country, is that we can't allow everyone to have value right now. It's only one side can have value. Only one group can have value. Only one age can have value. No, we need to be open and happy for everybody. We need to be supportive of everybody. See, the goal is to reach your 5-year plan. It's not to stay in your comfort zone. That's what this is all about. So we have to open it up, and we got to be ready for everybody. We got to do it for everything. Now, what we can't do, and this is the one that's probably the biggest problem, we can't go for the change we all really like. There is one change that everybody loves, and that's the change of you do it. We love change if it means somebody else does it. Not us, but somebody else. We learned this even in our company. One thing that we had to start doing in some of our staff meeting ideas was that when we would have staff meetings and we would ask for ideas or ask for things that we needed to change or things we needed to do differently, one of the things we started having to start the calls with was by saying, every idea you come up with has to be something you can do. Because we started realizing that every time we asked for input on something, every idea was for other people to do. Well, you guys should really do this. You should really do this. It'd be neat if this. And we say, well, what about you? What would you? Oh, I'm busy. I'm full. No, it's you. See, we can't just agree that everybody else to do what everybody else wants. See, doctors, you want your staff to change. You want insurance to change. You want state associations to change. You want us to change. I think most of our country, we want Gen Z to change. We want boomers to change. We want Democrats to change, Republicans to change. You want your family to change. When we talk about change, we don't ever talk about change that we can do. We talk about change that everybody else has to make happen. See, it's not that we don't believe in change. We just know it's easier if everybody else would do it. It's simpler. So, because even I know this, because I've learned this from other classes, and I've had to really watch this when I prepare these classes. If I teach a class where all I do is tell the doctors to change, the staff are like, this is the greatest class ever. Yeah, nail him. Nail him. She's the problem. And then the doctors just look angry at me the whole class. Now, on the opposite side, if I teach a class where all I say is, staff, you're the problem. You have the issues. You're the stuff the doctors are like, yes, I agree. They're driving me insane. See, both sides have to change. It's not just one. It's not just the other. See, here's the truth about it. If everyone and everything changed in your favor, you still wouldn't reach your purpose because of your refusal to change. See, I know that if everybody changed the way you want, if the government changed the way you want, if your taxes change the way you want, if your social constructs change the way you want, it still wouldn't matter because you would still find a way to stay in the way that you are now. Because even if all the things fell into place, you would have to change. And you know why you'd have to change? Because you'd finally have to get happy. But you've spent so many years being miserable, even if everything changed, you'd be like, nope. the sun is out too long. Nope. I wanted it to be 70 today, not 84. We would still find a way. It still requires you to change. Change is absolutely inevitable. So how do we accept it? How do we accept change? Now, you might recognize this guy on the screen. When I graduated college, I spent my first year out of college working at Walt Disney World. I was a full-time cast member as a monorail pilot. Look at this guy. He has no idea how beautiful and awesome he's going to become. Don't laugh at that, please. See, in order to take your office, I worked as the monorail, and when you work at the monorail, you are driving a train. And here's the thing about a monorail. It's on a track. It can't just go wherever you want. If you want it to go, you make it go, and it's going to go the same place every time. It's a circle. It has 2 stops, there and here. We're going to the Magic Kingdom or we're going to the Transportation Center. There's no other way. This is it. And yet, for all the time I spent there are people who walk up, get on the platform, and are like, I don't know if I should get on or not. Where does this go? They're like this, well, we might want to go to Epcot. We might want to, I don't know. Let's just wait. And you don't realize it because most of you that go to Disney World, you typically are just, we got to get in there. We got to go fast. But if you take the time to look back, you'll see people on the fences sitting back just looking around because they can't even make the decision to get on. See, change means you got to get on the train. You got to get on board. It has a set destination. See, that's the thing about all of our stuff. We know that with the 5-year plan, we have the destination. We know the destination. Your coach knows the destination. Your coach knows that if you just get on the train, you'll make it to the destination. And we're all sitting there begging you on the train saying, get on. And you're, well, I don't know if it's safe. I don't know if it's comfortable. I don't know if it's what I want. No, you have to get on board. You have to get on the train. See, your train is boarding. The 5-year plan's ready. It's fueled up. The plan is set. It's driven by purpose. And your coach is already there. And they're like, the doors are going to close. Get on. If you want to get on your destination and reach your goals, you have to get on board. So get on the train. There's a reason why that they tell you even when they're on the monorail, if you know it, please stand clear of the doors. Because they're telling you, it's going to shut. We're going to go. Are you coming or not? And what's amazing about the deal, and this is why choosing change is just so much easier if you just accept the fact that you're going to have to do it. There's inevitably on every single monorail one family that decides at the last second, okay, we get on. And they always get caught in the door. And then the door just jams over and over. Because even when it was an easy decision, it was hard. And then if you've ever ridden with that family, they get on, they're like, I don't know if we made the right decision. They still feel nervous. They still look scared, which is fine. But you still got to get on the train. You got to get on the 5-year plan train. See, if you're not on board, you're delayed. See, I know this because, as another example, I fly a lot. When you're delayed, you're not going anywhere. You're just stuck. You're just staying right here. I fly a ton and this happens. See, when you want to go somewhere, it gets frustrating when the people who control the planes delays my results. But when you delay your train, it's your delay. It's not anybody else's. See, most of you, the reason you aren't hitting your goals is because you've already delayed yourself. It's not that the train isn't ready. It's not that the plan isn't set. It's a self-inflicted delay. You're delaying your professional goals. I'm waiting for the right time. There is no right time. There's just this time. You're delaying your plans of finding a spouse. we have a friend, and she comes over, and every year, she's single, been single for a while, and every time she'll say, it's our Christmas party. At our Christmas party, she'll come and she'll say, if you guys know any single guys, I'd really appreciate it if you could do something. And we always ask the same question. Well, have you put yourself out there? Have you gone to church to find it? No, I'm not going to do those singles things. Have you put yourself online Christian mingle or match? No, that's not for me. All the things that require her to do something she doesn't want to do. But she wants us to just give her a husband, apparently. I've got those in the back seat. Hop out, John. Go to her. Could you be delaying your own plans of growth? We had a team talk. We had one of our team talks this week on Wednesday. And the thing that just killed me. We asked for what questions you have about your schedule, about booking through your schedule with patients. The number one thing said over and over again was, what do we do when there's no room for new patients? The schedule's full. There's no spots. We don't have any. Now, let me just do a very simple poll here. Doctors, owning doctors. How many of you say you have too many new patients? Oh, interesting. How many of you feel like some weeks, where are the people? But yet we're talking, nope, there's no spot on the appointment book. There's no spots. We don't have any spots. Yes, you do. I don't know if you remember this old saying, but there's what? There it is. There's always room for one more. And one more doesn't mean, we have an opening in 2 weeks. That's not one more. I'll take you tomorrow. I'll take you at lunch. I'll take you at the time we close. You're like, yeah, but we close. No, there's room for one more. It's always surprising to me that everybody says all we need is new patients. If we just have new patients, be better. But then if you really found out, you might realize that we've been turning people away. Because the calendar. You may be delaying your plans of retirement. It's time to get on a train, because even if you're going to retire, it's going to require some changes. If you want to get what you want to get out of it, it's going to require some change. It's kind of like selling your house. Anyone who's ever sold their house before knows that you don't just move your stuff out of it and sell it. You got to make it look nice now. If someone's going to tour it, it's got to look nice. It's got to be clean. You got to fix the stuff you've been promising to fix for 6 years. You got to get it ready. But all of these delays, the delays wear you down. If there's anything I've ever noticed in an airport when there's delays, it's not a room full of happy people. It's a room full of frustrated people. And if you're tired of the delays, it's a simple choice. Just get on the train. It's ready to go. It's all set. Your coach is on the train. They're waiting for you to get on. So in every little step, my coach said to do this, but it's not going to work at this town. No, get on the train. The system says do it this way, but I've always done it this way. No, get on the train. Get on the train. Quit waiting. Quit delaying. The world is horrible, but this must be the end times. No, it's not. Get on the train. I sometimes imagine what the slaves in Egypt would think of us if they saw our lives today and us complaining about it's the end times. But they'd be like, yeah, you got it easy. You don't understand what I'm going through right now. Oh, but I do. Oh, but we do. You don't know what I'm going through, but guess where I am? I'm on the train. Got to get on the train. I want to finish, because it's Disney, because I've been talking to, we're going to finish with some Nemo, okay? And on a high note. I want to watch this clip, because to me, this is the very simple deal. This is the epitome of us just holding on to stuff because we just want to hold on. Not because it's the right thing, not because it's the necessary thing, but because we're too scared to change and do it any other way. We're scared of what the experience will be, just like Marlin here in Finding Nemo.
What's going on?
Don't know. I'll ask him.
Dory.
What's
Dory.
going on? I think he says we've stopped.
Well, of course we've stopped. Just stop trying to speak whale. You're gonna make things worse. What is that noise? Oh no. Look what you did. The water's going down. It's going down.
Really? You sure about that?
Look, already it's half empty.
I'd say it's half full.
Stop that! It's half empty!
Okay, that one was a little tougher. He either said we should go to the back of the throat, or he wants a root beer float.
Of course he wants us to go there! That's eating us! How do I taste, Moby? Huh? Do I taste good? You tell him I'm not interested in being lunch.
Okay,
Stop talking to him! What is going on?
I'll check.
No! No more whale! You can't speak whale!
Yes, I can!
No, you can't! You think you can do these things, but you can't, Nemo!
Okay.
Dory!
He says it's time to let go. Everything's gonna be all right.
How do you know? How do you know something bad isn't gonna happen?
I don't.
We're alive!
Look, Sydney. Sydney. Sydney again.
You were right, Dory! We made it! We're gonna find my son! Thank you, sir!
Wow. I wish I could speak whale.
Okay, all we gotta do is find the boat that took him.
Right.
Come on, Dory. We can do this!
So to me, that's the epitome of all of this. You just got to listen. Your coach knows. Unlike Dory, your coach knows where we're going to go. They know what we're here to do. You just need to listen. You just need to let go. Remember that one? Let it go, let it go. You need to let go, man. You need to let go. And realize that the one thing that I know that's different, because when you were young, think about for most of us, when we opened our practices, you didn't know anything, so you just did everything we said. And when it worked, you were thrilled. When it didn't, you tried something else and it worked. See, the difference here is you just tried a new experience. You weren't flipped upside down. And here's what I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you this. None of it's going to be as hard as going out a blowhole. You can handle this. You can do this. It's time to choose new experiences. Can you choose new experiences? Yes. Can we accept change? Yes. Very cool. We are going to take... Oh, Keith, I'm on time. I don't know how if you know. I'm not sure. Yeah, well, revel in it. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back with Joel Manby. Thank you, everybody.